He's moving like fast. He's going
So
hard.
win the seller, win the seller. Okay, awesome. Let's win the seller. All right, cool. Yeah. Blah, 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 blah. All right, here we are. Win the seller. You've been through all of this. Which one did I do? Generate your leads. That's right. My favorite topic. I like teaching win the sellers because I like learning from the front of the classroom. So when you teach something, the chances that you're going to get more out of it become very, very good. Absolutely. Okay. We know that. All right. Today's agenda, we're going to look at what an A seller is, getting the appointment, a pre-listing package. I brought one that the Hoffman Murphy team, who I'm a member of, does. I'll let you take a look at it and I'm going to take it back. What we do at the listing appointment, getting the listing agreement, recap on AHA's daily success, blah, 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 blah. All right. While leads are vital to your sales business, seller listings are critical to your ability to build it to its highest level with the lowest cost and highest nets. Sellers are the best thing to get over buyers because they're going to take less time. And this course is talking about an A qualified seller is one who is able, ready, and willing to do business within the next 14 days.
Oh, wow.
I don't agree with this because you're not going to walk out the door and find somebody willing to sell their house. You're going to build a database, as we talked about when I was doing generate leads. You're going to build a database of prospective sellers that at some point will become an A seller. We just had someone call our office. I took the call because we were having a seller seminar at the Redondo Beach Library, and we had to cancel it because we only had one person sign up, so we weren't going to have it. Well, this person called our office and said, "Hey, did you just cancel the video or cancel the class? Because we're going to sell in the next 6 months to 2 years, and we just want to know what we need to do to our house." And I'll tell you what, I'll be happy to give you a private introduction into what that's going to be, and booked an appointment for next Friday afternoon to get in front of them, learn more about what is going on, what's happening, and what needs to happen to your house to make sure that you get top dollar when it comes time to sell it. That's one of the big value propositions that the Hoffman Murphy real estate team has. And it's something you all can have too and can do, is be able to look at a house and let the seller know, here are some things that you can do that are low cost, fairly easy to do. I've got resources that will do them for you, and we can get you more money for your home than the condition that it's in right now. And there are concierge services that we have. Zoom Casa. Well, Zoom Casa is a business that will go in and they will make the improvements and then get paid at the close of escrow. So it doesn't cost the seller anything. All right, but this is talking about finding an A seller, and I'm going to tell you that you need to have a database full of C's and B's to get to the A's.
Okay. In your opinion, what would you personally consider an A seller? Because we're saying 2 weeks is probably.
Okay, I don't categorize them by ABC.
Gotcha.
I do hot, nurture, and watch. Hot is the next 30 to 60 days. Nurture is the next year. Watch is a year and beyond.
Like they told you, we're thinking about it in the future. We don't have a date.
Everybody that owns a home now is in the watch category.
Interesting.
Because they're going to sell at some point, or they're going to leave it in the trust to hand down to the kids, and then will the kids keep it or sell it?
More than likely sell it.
Right, exactly. So anybody who owns a home now is in the watch category. Some of them are in the nurture category because they're going to take action sooner, and some of them are hot. But those hot ones you're not, odds that you can walk out of the store and find one are slim to none. But we'll look at how you can find them. Okay, and next 14 days. I don't think it's realistic. Somebody needs to be admitted. What the heck? I keep ask to unmute. No, ask to unmute. No, everybody's in. Okay, all right. No problem. That's me talking. I'm not Simon. All right. And have you all heard of the 3 L's in the MREA? Listing, leads, leverage. What do those mean to you?
It all starts with leads.
Right?
If you don't do leads, really nothing else
Right.
matters.
If you don't do lead generation, if you don't throw name, number, email address, addresses into your database, you got nothing.
And then after that, the point of going through leads is to get a listing appointment,
Right.
to get a listing
Mhm.
agreement.
Yep.
And then getting so many that you start using processes, et cetera, to get leverage to be able to do even more.
Keep in mind that a listing itself is leverage. Because it's a vehicle to get you more buyers and sellers. Because the marketing you do around that, now your name gets out there, your open house signs, you're door knocking the neighborhood, you're dropping off flyers, you're letting people know in the neighborhood. That's leverage to market yourself and make yourself more well known. The other piece of that leverage is, hey, I'm so busy now, I need to hire an admin to do some of this.
The calls, et cetera.
Basic stuff or basic stuff that you're not good at and what you shouldn't be good at. Like the marketing stuff, the paperworky stuff, I hate it. Suck at it. Let's leverage that off to somebody else.
Who's good at
Yeah,
pretty stuff, yeah.
get somebody. I'm good at getting on the phone and getting in front of people and talking with them, which is what you should be doing. All right. Virtue of seller listing. Like I was just saying, seller listings mean a marketing opportunity. Your sign is in the yard, hopefully. Your open house signs are out there. Your names are out there. You have more control of your time with a listing. Because with a listing, you're going to go to the house a couple of times, or if you're holding it open, you're doing that on the weekends, but you're not jumping in your car and showing buyers around. However, if all you've got are a buyer or buyers, they're a way to make money. Seller listings maximize your per hour compensation. Really, from a financial standpoint, you're going to spend less time on a seller than you will with a buyer. And so any money that you make, if you break it down to an hourly cost, you're better off with the seller. I don't even know what volume means. What does that mean? You can do more volume in listings than buyers. Maybe that's true.
Is it because if they're selling their home, maybe they're also looking to buy out, like, sell and buy, so you get 2 for 1 transaction type of thing?
Possibly. I think that's more related to if you get a listing and other sellers see that, now there's an opportunity to get other listings
Neighbors.
from those neighbors. Yeah. I think Mike Ferry used to say when one house goes on the market, 2 more in the neighborhood come on the market shortly after that. And it's also a way to get buyers. So with seller listings, you're at the front end of pricing. So that means you have a better understanding of what's going on in the market when you are listing properties. Okay. And properly marketed seller listings will bring you more business. That's a reality. You could obtain, they usually say on the MREA will say, for every listing, you'll get another listing and 2 buyers. So that's the value of having sellers.
I just want to say something I heard from a good agent. They said that people always remember the agent that sold, not the one that brought the buyer. So
That's what the buyer. You mean the listing agent?
yeah, the listing agent, yeah.
It's interesting you bring that up because when people are asked, would they use the same agent? It's in the high 70–80% say, yeah, we would. The reality is it's about 7%. Because we agents are horrible at staying in touch with our clients. So
On a whole other note, I just wanted to shout out to Omer. He got his license.
congratulations,
Yeah,
Omer. Were you at the last
Thank
class,
you.
Omer?
Yes, I was.
Yeah, okay. So have you been calling your database?
Yes.
And
And I have two active buyers.
new active buyers, right on. Have they signed the VRBC?
I just got my license, so I'm gonna send it today or tomorrow.
All right. You literally got it. Okay, yeah. So you gotta get car forms, you gotta get into the MLS and get all that. Good job. Right on. Keep working your database. All right, the 7-step seller service cycle. This is what it looks like. Lead conversion. It starts off as a lead. Could be somebody you met in an open house, could be somebody you know, could be somebody you saw met door knocking. Okay, then there is the pre-listing transaction to date in particular. I don't know what you mean by that.
Is pre-listing like getting
Pre-listing is getting them information about what it's going to take to get your home sold, qualifying them, finding out what their plans are, where they're going. The listing consultation is when you're actually at a listing appointment and you're attempting to get a listing agreement signed. That's when they're going to decide what the price is that they want to sell it. That's where you're sharing, here's what I'm going to do to market the property. And here's what I'm going to do to attract buyers, the open houses, the marketing materials, the sign, the super lockbox that we're going to put on there so agents can easily show it. Here's sign this listing agreement, press hard. Servicing and marketing, meaning how are you getting the property out there so it's seen by enough buyers and agents as well. Then once you get an offer or offers, because in this market, if it's priced aggressively, you can get multiple offers and you figure out which is the best one and negotiate the best terms for your seller. And then bringing the contract to close, getting past the contingency periods and getting it to close. And then post-close, some crap in the way. Thank you. That's better for me. We'll see if it'll stay there or not. Okay, and then post-close systems. After that closes, how do you then stay in touch with that seller wherever they've gone? We've got one that closed 2 weeks ago. I'm going to get the key tonight because they stayed in possession because they're moving to Indonesia. And we had the buyer as well, so they're getting the house cleaned tomorrow. I'll give the buyer their keys tomorrow week. So that's post-close system. And then you just go through that loop over and over and over again. Okay. Gennaro Rosales. Somebody admitted these people? Hope so. I just did.
You just gotta click on the PowerPoint.
Okay.
Like with
This was working.
with the mouse.
No, this thing was working.
Yeah, it's just because you admitted somebody, so now,
Oh.
yeah.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. All right, there we go. All right, I know that was really quick. Anything you learned from that?
I mean, the hot nature watch.
Oh, yeah, hot nurture watch.
Oh, nurture.
Yeah, hot nurture watch. I think that's a better way to categorize them.
Yeah, to
And then based on that category, how often do you follow up? A mentor of mine has said hot, you contact them every week. Nurture every month. And then watch every 3 months. And if you're able to kind of categorize people that way because you qualified them or had a conversation with them about what their plans are, what they want to do, what they need to do, where they're going to move to, then you know what to do.
For watch, what was the time frame again? You said
3 months, every 3 months.
every quarterly.
Quarterly.
Okay.
Yep. See if there's anything you can do to help them. But you're going to run into people that say, I'm never going to move. I'm going to die here.
How you feeling?
You got it. You've been to one of my classes. How you feeling? And is your property in a trust? So that when you do pass, it'll convey to who you want it to. No, it's not in a trust. Great. I've got a great trust attorney I can get to you. Hey, trust attorney, call this person. They need a trust. Hey, person I just spoke with, this attorney is going to call you about doing a trust. Now that trust attorney owes you. And trust attorneys run across listings all the time, or probate listings, or whatever. That will happen.
The hot nurture watch,
Yes.
would you also categorize that? I know we're talking about sellers.
And buyers as well.
But I was gonna say,
Yes.
you would put
Yeah.
them into the same category.
Exact same category. That's right. Yeah. I've got a hot buyer right now. I've got an offer out for them. I contact them almost daily because I'm actively helping them shop for a home. I've got a nurture. I contact them every week or two. And watch buyers are much further.
I was asking because I have one who, well, if she told me straightforward, if I can move tomorrow,
Okay.
I'm willing.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, so I got her with the lender and started that process there
Okay.
with them. So I'm in my head, she's hot then. Even though she doesn't have like, she could, if she wants to move tomorrow, we find something, she says, I'll move.
Okay. But she hasn't talked to a lender.
She's in the process right now.
She's in the process right now of talking to a lender.
Correct.
Okay. So is she hot? Maybe. You're going to find out.
Yeah.
Once you find out how much she can afford, and can you find her something
Yeah.
at the price point she can afford?
That-
Where is she looking?
She actually wants to be outside of LA. So she said like Bakersfield.
Oh,
like,
geez.
like she's looking to move out there.
LA County or somewhere else?
She's currently in LA, but she.
I'm talking about where she's buying. I don't care where she is now. Bakersfield. That's not LA County.
Yeah, that's not LA.
Okay, because I've got a lender that will give you $20,000 to $50,000 to buy a home. City National Bank, but that's LA County. So
Gotcha.
yeah,
That's
so
fine.
okay, so you're going to be driving to Bakersfield.
First one, I'll do what I gotta do.
Well, now here's something to consider though. Do you have access to the Bakersfield MLS?
Oh,
Are they in our system?
I did not check.
See, because Palmdale, Lancaster, Victorville, a lot of them are in our MLS system, our CRMLS. And they have their own board and their own system. So you better check that out. Yeah, definitely. Okay. Tangent on buyer. Anybody else have? Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead. Yes.
But with the nurture, with the nurture, right?
Yes.
It seems like, so you said that's it when they're ready to transact in about a year.
A year or less,
Yeah.
but not 60 days. So longer than 60 days and up to a year.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so to follow up and to nurture, is that really case by case where it could be once a week, could be, but no more than, or no less than once a month, right?
Here is the best thing that you can do when you're conversing with any kind of prospective client, buyer, seller, investor, doesn't matter. You finish every sales, and it's a sales conversation, with agreement and commitment from both parties when the next conversation, activity, meeting will take place.
So when would be a good time for?
Can I follow up with you in 2 weeks on XYZ, right?
It's best to be specific. You can ask them when's a good time. I like to give them a time. I mean, we've had this conversation about, okay, because your kids are in school until June, and you're not gonna move until after that, so somewhere in the middle of the summer or in the fall, you plan on moving, great. Would you be offended if I checked back with you in May to see how the plans are coming along? That would be a couple of months. Okay, so it can be case by case. If they were planning on moving this summer, they're definitely a nurture, technically. Or they're not an A seller. But they've got a good time frame in mind. So, and I really caution you to back up. If they tell you 6 months, call them in free. I cannot tell you how many times I've had somebody tell me we're buying in a year, call me in a year. I called them in a year. Oh yeah, we bought 3 months ago. You told me a year. Life changes, life happens. So yeah, depending on that conversation you had with them that day, what would make sense to follow up with them again?
May I ask a specific scenario question?
Please.
So I met someone
Congratulations.
at an open house.
Yeah, yeah.
And she's unfortunately going to be going through a divorce.
Yeah.
So it's a rough situation.
Yeah.
I know that. So I'm having a hard time following up because I really want to help.
Mm-hmm.
And I've helped her lease the lease that I was listing myself.
Okay.
So, I mean,
Yeah.
I've
So she's leasing the lease listing that you have.
my clients that
Your client's lease listing. Okay. All right.
So I got to know both families,
Right.
pretty well during the transaction.
Yeah.
And, love to help her more.
Right.
But it's, I'm not quite sure how to follow up because everything is brand new to her as far as the situation. And, I'm just basically checking in, just to see what else I could do. But I don't want to be that generic, just following up, it's.
Okay, so you said she was going to be going through a divorce.
I believe she started it.
She has started, okay. In the state of California, what is the minimum amount of time that a divorce takes?
6 months.
Thank you, 6 months. The minimum amount of time is 6 months. It can be longer based on how litigious or how acrimonious or whatever it is.
It does seem like it's going to be litigious. It's not an easy situation. So that's where I don't know how to,
Okay, wait,
information.
you're a woman, right? You're a woman, right? You're the person that you're speaking with is a woman.
Yeah.
Would there be anything wrong with you calling to say, hey, I just want to find out how things are going?
Which I haven't.
Great.
But it's like,
Great.
how often do you do that? Because it's also that situation where, how much does she want to talk about it too? Because I can't do that every week.
Every month.
Well, time out.
Like a really case by case basis where.
It is 100% a case by case basis. So when was the last time you spoke with her?
About 3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago. Okay, and when you finished that conversation, did you ask her when you could speak? When would be a good time for you to follow up with her?
It's actually through text because she has little kids as well.
Okay, so texted. Did you ask her in a text, when should I check back with you?
No, you should.
Okay, so it was 3 weeks ago. So odds are, I want you to have some courage and ask the question, where are you at in the divorce process? Where are you at in the process? Well, we filed the papers, well, we filed the divorce, or our attorneys are battling, or we're going over the marriage settlement agreement. Okay, there's aspects of that process that must occur. And nothing will happen with her until that is all resolved.
And it seems like the last time I asked that question, it seemed like it was a very litigious process and they were going.
They're all litigious. Every divorce is ugly. No matter what. So. And just come at it from, I'm here to help. I just want to help. I want to see if there's anything I can do for you. I just want to support you. I'm on your team. You know, again, I'm with you against your husband. Or soon to be ex-husband. And that's okay. Doesn't have to be real estate.
Thank you.
You bet. All right, getting the appointment. Converting a seller's, respond right away to lead inquiries. How many of us get lead inquiries for selling a house?
I'm sorry. It was right.
How many lead inquiries do you receive on an annual basis to sell a house? How many people call you up and say, hey, I want to sell a house?
Handful.
Yeah, I got one today. And it came through our website because we were promoting a seminar that didn't happen, and they called us. That's extremely rare. All right, you're going to go have to dig it out. You're going to have to talk to people about what their plans are. But yeah, so I don't even know where these lead inquiries are coming from. There's very few websites. All websites will find you buyers. There's websites that'll do that. I have yet to find one that will find you sellers. That will have sellers come back to you and say, hey, I'm interested in selling. So that's interesting, and being responsive is important. Always get valid and complete contact information and save it in command or whatever your contact management system is. That means at an open house, by the way, an open house is a great way to find sellers. Neighbors are going to come by, see what the house looks like, see what's going on, how does it compare to mine? And when that occurs, when you're doing an open house, get complete contact information. Name, phone number, email address, and their address, so that you'll be able to follow up. And then ask permission from them to follow up about helping them sell their house. Determine their motivation to sell. That's always the key. I used to like the question, if you were to ever consider selling, when would that be? We had a conversation about it the other day. The question I like much better now is, if you were to ever consider selling, where would you go? And I asked that of somebody today that was in my database. I called them annually. They're in RPV because they said, we're not going to move. So today when I called them, I chose to ask, if you were to ever consider selling, where would you go? Tennessee. What's in Tennessee? I've got family there. Oh, okay, great. So guess what? He knows where he's going someday. Is it today? Is it next year? Don't know, but he knows where he's going. That's a valuable piece of information. So a year from now, when I call him, I can say, hey, how's Tennessee looking? And he's going to remember, he's going to remember me, if at all. And he's going to then go, oh yeah, that's right. You're the guy that called me a year ago, and the year before that, and the year before that. Oh, okay, you're actually keeping notes. Trust. I can trust this person. So when you have a conversation with someone about possibly selling, take excellent notes, so that when you check back with them, you're able to re-communicate. We had this conversation. How's that coming along? What's happening with that? What's going on? And that helps build trust.
Can you repeat that question?
Oh, if you were to ever consider selling, you got it, Jojo. Jojo, boss cat.
Can I ask you which program do you use for? Yeah, what program do you use to keep track of your leads?
Yeah, well, I'm very fortunate. The Hoffman Murphy real estate team is using Follow Up Boss.
Okay.
However, you have access to Command.
Yeah.
Whatever fees you pay to the market center. So use Command.
Okay.
Yep. Because there's tools and systems in there that you can leverage. Leverage. Demand is a leverage. To keep in touch, send out emails, get in front of people. And as soon as you can, get in front of them, set an appointment to see the house. Okay, so what's something you could do? Let's say you're doing open house this weekend, which I am, Sunday, 1 to 3, over at 1913 Carnegie in Redondo Beach. If a potential seller walks in, says, yeah, we want to take a look at it because we're thinking of selling in the next 6 months. So I just want to get an idea of what's going on. What's something you could do to get in front of them and get in their house?
Do you mind me taking a look at your property and telling you what it's worth and what you could do in the next 6 months to boost the value?
You're right along the path. You're very, very close. The concept of the question I would ask is, okay, yeah, absolutely. I love the job. I'd love the opportunity to interview for the job of selling your home when the time comes. I'm guessing that when you do choose to sell your house, you want to get the most amount of money for it possible. Is that correct? What do you think the answer to that question is?
Yes.
Yes. And I bet if you're like most people, there's probably a few things you could do to improve your house to make sure you get that. Is that correct? Yes. They've gotten 2 yeses. Okay, great. Would it be helpful to you to know what the easiest, low cost, and high return things are that can be done to the home? Yes. Excellent. Why don't I stop by next week on Tuesday at 3 o'clock, take a look, and then I'll get to you a punch list of the things that you can do. Well, 3 doesn't work. How about 4? Yeah, 4 works. Okay, great. And you book an appointment. And you get phone number, email address, their address, name, all that information. Did you see how I worked that to get a series of yeses so that when it comes time to ask for the appointment, they're already tuned and primed to say yes. And I know it sounds kind of dumb to ask, you probably want to get top dollar for your house. Well, yeah, who the heck doesn't? However, you want to get them to confirm it. And I bet you need to do some things to improve your house, don't you? Yes. Great. Would you like to know what the best things to do are? Yes. Great. Then let's do that. Okay. Yeah, we did that. What sellers want most from their agent? Help price the home competitively, 21%, say that's it. Help seller market home to potential buyers. Help sell the home within a specific time frame. Help seller find ways to fix up home to sell it for more. And the larger percentage is other. How does that help us? Okay. For us, this is probably 50%. Help sellers find a way to fix up their home and sell it for more. Virtually every seller we walk into is going to make improvements that we recommend. We're going to bring in our contractor who's going to do that. We're going to front the money so they don't have to pay for it unless they have it. Then they'll do it. They'll do it. And then we're going to put it on the market and we're going to sell it. So this is according to NAR 2021. So that's a little bit outdated information. I will tell you, I do run into, if I'm like cold calling, which I don't do much anymore, cold calling sellers asking to go see their house to help them maximize their money. I haven't always gotten a great response with that. But if you get somebody that's sharing with you, yeah, we're thinking of selling, just a way to get in front of them and get in their door is to say, let's take a look at what can be done to make sure you get top dollar for it. Okay. Yeah. That one surprised me. Build confidence and trust. What are some ways that you can build confidence and trust with your sellers? As you talk to the seller to get the appointment, remember that these conversations lay the foundation for your working relationship. Your first goal in connecting is to build confidence and trust. You do that by exuding confidence in yourself and showing attentive professionalism by asking questions. Your focus during this process is not to sell, it's to provide value, meet their real estate needs, and secure the appointment. So that series of questions I was asking that seller that's going to come to my open house on Sunday between 1 and 3 at 1913 Carnegie Lane in Redondo Beach. You want this, you want this, you want this, you want this? Yes, yes, yes. Great. Let me come by then. Those are things that are building trust. Yeah, where are you moving to? Where would you go if you sold your house? What's the time frame for that? How do you hope to make that happen? And I'll always, if they're the ones doing the majority of the talking, you are a real estate genius, regardless of how much or how little you know. If they are doing the talking, you're a genius. You are trustworthy. And being able to ask questions with confidence and handle yourself with confidence. How many of you have done an open house? How do you find business? Your database?
Right now, yeah, door knocking.
Door knocking. In a farm?
Yeah,
Okay. How often are you hitting those doors?
the goal is every month I'm re-hitting,
How many doors?
100 right now to start.
100 doors.
I'm doing 25 a week.
Okay. 25 a week and you're going back through them. And you just started, right?
Yeah.
We had this conversation when we were talking about generating leads, right?
Mhm.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. See if you can do some open houses. When it comes, you've done an open house. When somebody walks through the door, how do you greet them?
Walk over and shake it. Start a conversation. They have kids, you know, we started to just.
Stand up. I'm the agent. You're coming into my open house. Hi, welcome. I'm Bob.
Karina,
Hi, Karina. What brings you here today?
I was in the area and I noticed your open house sign. It says neighborhood we were always curious about. I wanted to check out this house.
Oh, fantastic. So you just saw the signs?
Yeah.
Oh, excellent. So have you looked on your phone to figure out what the price is?
Not yet. I
Okay.
just liked your signs and I thought this is a great opportunity to check out a house.
Outstanding. So you're hoping to move into this area?
And it's someday.
Great. Where do you currently live?
We live next city over.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, yeah. Over in Lomita?
Sorry, I'm happy where I live, so
or
it's hard for me
Orange?
to pretend.
Yeah, I gotcha. And what I would do with somebody like that is say, I tell you what, let's play a game. Don't look at the flyer. Don't look at your phone. Go take a look around the house, and then I want you to come back and tell me how much it's listed for. Does that sound good? And they'll usually do that. And then what happens when they've looked around the house?
Over.
They come back to me. I'm not chasing them.
Yeah.
They come back to me. The key thing I wanted to show you there, though, is when she walked in the door, I walked up and introduced myself, looked her right in the eye. And when we do that, you can sit down. Thank you. When we do that, a reflex is just to say what our name is. That way you can get that person's name. But greeted her with confidence. And if you do that, people will believe you're confident, even if you're not. All right. And again, it always comes down to asking great questions. Who, what, where, when, why, how. How is the most powerful, by the way. 7 close to appointment tactics. Show the benefits, the take back close, negative positive close, give them what they're looking for, trial closes, summer close, tie downs. Have you ever heard of any of these?
I mean, show the benefits.
What would show the benefits be?
Listing with me, you'll get top dollar or net the most. Right,
Oh,
something like
okay,
that.
if I can show you a way that we can do just a few things to your home to get you more money than you think you can get, would you be willing to let me take a look? If I can give you a list of the things that are low cost and give a great return, would you let me come by? If I can give you the names of 5 recent sellers who gave us great reviews, would that be helpful to you? And let me hand those to you. The take back close is kind of, this may not be for you. I just helped the seller get more than they thought they could get. And I'm not sure if that's for you, but would you like to get more than you think you can get for the home? Duh. Negative positive close. Let's not mess with that one. Give them what they're looking for. A trial close is, well, the trial close was actually the one I was doing. I bet you want to make the most for your money when you sell it. Yes. I bet you need to do some things. Yes. So I'm doing a trial on those. Assumptive close is kind of one of my favorites. So you plan on selling your home in the next month? I'm sure you want the best agent to do that for you. Are you available in the afternoons or nights and weekends better for you? I'm assuming they're going to book an appointment with me. It's just now a time. When will that time be? Will it be in the afternoon, which I would prefer, or will it be night or weekend? And tie downs are very similar to do you want to get the most for your home? Yes. Do you want to get it sold within a certain time frame? Do you want to get it sold for top dollar? Do you need to do some things to make sure it gets done?
Would you say negative and positive would be like, if you don't buy right now, chances are the prices are gonna go up, versus if you do buy right now, those prices going up.
Rates, you want
Sure.
return.
Yeah, what's going to happen with rates? Yeah, exactly. You know, the guy that's in the office now is going to throw the economy into the toilet, so maybe you should buy now. So, yeah. The best way to close is give value. What value are you bringing that they'll have a hard time saying no to?
The brokerage you have, the team that you have behind you, the brand.
What about the brokerage you're in? No one cares about the brokerage. They care about you.
I would say that, I think it would.
Now, am I able to tell a good story working for the Hoffman Murphy real estate team? Yeah, we've got a great team that's been selling houses in this market for 35 years, and we sell 100 houses a year, and we get people top dollars, and we've got proven techniques to be able to get your home sold at the best price. Very few people really care about the brokerage. They care about what you're going to do for them. That's the biggest value. Questions versus objections. When there's a question, you answer it. When an objection comes up, address it. Anybody have an idea about what that is? What's the difference between a question and an objection?
I mean, the question would be like, should I do upgrade the bathroom or?
That'd be a question. Absolutely. Yeah. Should I update the bathroom? Absolutely. Do you have the $5,000 you need to spend to fix it up? No, that's okay. We've got a company that can do that for you, or we'll do that for you, or we'll handle that. This one has, what is your commission? And it says to answer it. Never answer the commission question until you've shown your value. Because now they have no point of reference to base that number on. If you're having a conversation at an open house and they are asking you how much you charge, they have no point of reference. I mean, okay, they see you at the open house, they see what the house looks like, they see your sign, they see your marketing materials, they have a little bit of idea of what you can do, but they don't know the full depth of what you can bring. And so there's no basis of what that commission is. So my answer, until I've had the opportunity to meet with them, show the value, whenever anyone asks me, how much do you charge, or what's the commission? I got this one from Brian Tracy about 1,000 years ago in The Psychology of Selling. He said, here's the great news. If I'm not the right agent to do the job, it's absolutely no charge. However, let's set a time where I can show you what we can do to get your home sold. And then we'll have a conversation about how much it costs or what the costs look like. Because it's not fair of them to ask you how much you charge when they haven't seen what you can do. I was role playing this with our group the other day, and I picked this one, and I said, my response to that, well, how much do you charge? My response was, has anyone ever come into your office and asked you how much you make? And the answer is going to be no. Great. So until you know what I can do, is it really right to ask me how much I charge?
Do you mind repeating the script? Like, here's the great news, and then what did you say after?
The one from Tracy?
Yeah,
Is that the one?
Yeah, like, here's the great news. If I don't sell your house,
Yes. Yeah. When they ask you, what do you charge? If you're out door knocking and, we're thinking of selling, how much do you charge? That's the best part. If I'm not the right agent to do the job, there's absolutely no charge. However, why don't we get together and I can show you what I can do and then have a conversation of what the cost of that will be. Alleghena, Mr. Triple, Quadruple, Golden Platinum. You got it?
yes, thank you.
You bet, absolutely. Now, an objection is, what I'm looking to see. Oh, another agent will list my house for only X%.
well, that would be your answer, right? Well, here's the great news, if I'm right there.
Well, no, an objection comes up though when you're in front of them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Is that Yorkie? Hello, Yorkie. Okay. It's okay. I know, I'm big. I'm a big, tall, ugly guy. Yep. There we go. A common objection, a commission is going to be one of those you run into, especially with people that are selling. Hey, this agent said they'll do it for 1%. 1%, great. May I ask, do you believe an agent selling at 1%? Actually, the way I handle that one is, okay, I understand that. I hear you. All right. Let me ask you a question. Do you want a strong negotiator working for you that's going to get you the most amount of money and protect your interests? What's going to be the answer to that? Yes, I am. Well, that agent that's only charging 1% has already demonstrated their negotiation skill. And that is drop the price. So that when you're in contract and the buyer is asking for repairs or a price reduction or something from you, since they're not able to protect their own money.
Gonna do it yours.
Thank you, Jojo. Yes, that agent is charging 1%. Let me ask you a question, Mr. or Mrs. Seller. If they're not able to protect their own money, how will they do with yours? and then you shut up. Because that's a how question. If they can't protect their own money, how will they do with yours? Now, it's always wise to echo back what their objection is. Hey, this other agent said they'll do 1%. Okay, I hear you saying that that agent will do 1%. Other than that, is there anything else that's causing you to hesitate from listing with me today? No, that's the only thing. Great. Well, that agent that's willing to only do it for 1%, I'm sure you want a strong negotiator working on your behalf. That agent's already just demonstrated they can't protect their own money. How do you think they'll do with yours? And that might be enough to get you to getting the number that you want. Make sense? And commission's going to be the biggest one you come up against. Okay, any aha from that? Keep an eye on the clock. We got some stuff.
Here's the great news. I will charge 0 commission. If
Oh,
I
no,
your house.
no commission. I said, if I'm not the right
Yeah.
agent to do the job, there's no charge.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, make sure you get that right.
Okay.
If I'm not the right agent to do the job, there's no charge. But again, remember the context that you're going to use that, and that's if you've not had the opportunity to demonstrate your value. They're just asking.
They're asking you.
They're asking you out of the blue. I've had people do that. Just ask me out of the blue. What do you charge? I haven't even seen what I can do. Okay.
Do you feel like open houses are like the most, I guess you would say, like effective way for clients to get clients to boost?
You're all newer, right?
Yeah.
Then yes.
But
Your database and open houses. Yeah. That's going to be the most effective. If you don't have any business right now and you want business right now, do open houses. Do 30 open houses in a month. And I promise you'll find something.
So the process is like, we just reach out to the agent that's listing, and then we just say, hey, I'm looking at host an open house at this time, on this day, at this time.
Yeah.
Is that okay with you? And then what if we want to like film content in it? Do we just disclose that to the agent as well? Like, oh, I'm gonna do the open house from this time to this time. And I also have a social media page. Is it okay if I shoot?
I would ask their permission. Now, keep in mind, being able to do an open house, multiple times, it probably has to be vacant.
yeah, that's the one.
If the owner's living there, they're probably not going to want open houses every day.
30 open houses in 1 month, that's pretty much an open house a day.
Yes.
How many
It is.
houses are there?
What if you did the same one?
But every day, so that, like, Monday.
Are you going to see the same people every day?
It depends on where the house is.
No.
But
You won't. It would have to be a great location. It'd have to be a maximum of 2 signs off of a major street. Okay, and it has to be at least a decent property. But see, that is a limiting belief.
just-
It's not kind of, it is.
I need to change my mindset, I totally understand. I'm just also trying to be practical, but my first Monday through, Saturday, Sunday if possible, but and that's as long as the open house signs are there.
Mhm.
You've had success like on a Monday.
Mhm.
That's people still walking. Like in Redondo Beach, it's usually Thursdays or weekends and.
Well, Thursday is the broker's open. And I would tell you 4 to 6, Monday through Friday. Because you'll get people coming home from work. Random. Will you get 20 people Monday through Friday? No. Will you get 1 or 2? Probably. Could you find if you did that? So let's say you did 2 on the weekends, Saturday, Sunday. That's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Right? No, how many weekends are there?
3 days.
Oh.
2 on each weekend day.
So,
2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. So there's half of them. If you did 2 on Saturday and Sunday every weekend, so there's 16. So that means during the week, you only need to do another.
So open houses, like what time, are they usually like just 2 hours?
I do 2 hours because I get bored.
Okay. But you market it as much as possible to let people know that this open house is gonna be there here.
Yep. Yeah. And there's only, if it's not your listing, you only have so much control. Okay, Hue and Blue team, if you're not a part of the WhatsApp KW shares group, you should be, because almost on a weekly basis, Hue and Blue post, we have these open house opportunities.
That's what she told me to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've held houses open for them. I held an open house for Christina in a townhouse in San Pedro 1.5 years ago or so, and got the buyer, and got that buyer a contract from the open house. Yeah.
Would your recommendation just be, it doesn't matter if it's 30 different places, open houses, or?
The key thing, like, find at least a reasonable, desirable property that seems to be priced good. Now, keep in mind, if it's priced good, it's gonna be in contract in 21 days or less. So you can't hold that for 30 days. You know, your shares, yes. That's it. Yeah, or just find open houses to do. Maybe 30's out of the question. I know that's a challenge.
Yeah. That's the
challenge.
goal.
But the goal is to get out there and be where buyers and sellers are gonna meet you. If you don't have 1,000 people in your database of potential buyers and sellers, you better go find them somehow. And open houses are a great way to find buyers and sellers.
Just curious what your personal actual experience was holding open houses Monday through Friday.
I never did it. I haven't done it. I wouldn't do it. I hate open houses. I hate open houses. And I'm doing one Sunday from 1 to 3 at 1913 Carnegie Lane in Redondo Beach.
I can do it for you.
No, I want those leads for myself. Yeah, but and I also recognize the value of them, and that's why I do them. So no, I personally would not do it Monday through Friday. I would not. And if you need business and you want business, there's an opportunity. And the whole Monday through Friday thing, how many agents are willing to hold an open house Monday through Friday?
I would say no.
Very few. Very, very few. So if you go to Hue and Blue and say, hey, that listing you have over here, may I hold that open on Thursday between 4 and 6? Chances are good they're going to say yes. Can I hold it open Saturday and Sunday? No, we've got our team, but they've got a large team. Now our team's taking care of that. Okay. All right. Red fire. What's that?
Just an update, you can close it out.
Thank you. I'm glad I have you here to help me with that. All right. Purposeful approach, going from E to P. How many of you have heard of this? It's one of Gary Keller's principles. Going from E to P.
I think
You've heard of it.
It's one of the first couple questions.
Yeah, going from entrepreneurial, meaning you're just kind of dabbling in it, to purposeful. We'll hit a spot where we've kind of, our natural abilities have only taken us so far. And now we've got to develop models, systems, focus to break through the purposeful. And that's one of the key ways of doing that, and it comes from lead generation. And we talked about this. You know, you're going to do door knocking. Okay, great. What's that going to look like? How often are you going to do it? How many doors? When are you doing it? And what's going to be the consistency of it? You're running a business, you need systems and you need models to follow to get to where you've got a big business. Move from being entrepreneurial, doing what comes naturally. y'all do some things naturally to meet people, talk with people. Okay, and add them to your database, and that'll get you to a certain point. But then you're gonna have to adopt some things that are not natural for you. Like some of those scripts I recite to y'all. Some of the suggestions I make, like doing 30 open houses in a month. That can help move you to purposeful. All right, pre-listing packet goals. A pre-sell builds the seller's confidence, answer their question and objections before your presentation. This is something that can be dropped off before you even meet with them. It's called a pre-listing packet presentation.
So this wouldn't be the actual presentation, this.
No, this is a pre-listing package. And Keller Williams and their models is suggesting you have a pre-listing package. Here's what ours looks like. It would also include a CMA, cloud CMA. How many of you have made a CMA? You have? Okay. David, have you made a
I've messed
CMA?
with it, but not officially.
I just played it. I never mixed it.
Okay. Are you aware of cloud CMA?
On the MLS, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, the cloud CMA in the MLS system, that goes in there. Yep. Here we've got this fancy home seller's guide. Look at this. Ooh, fancy. Don't worry, you can't afford this. And we've got information in here, our mission, vision, beliefs, values, etc.
So you have like a preset, like info, and then you put in something specific, like that.
The guy that closed 2 weeks ago, it'll be 2 weeks ago, Friday. We had a pre-listing appointment with him to talk about what he needed and what he was going to do. We brought one of these with our CMA in it and gave that to him. Whether he looked at it or not, I don't know. And then that was a month before that, or 2 months, whatever. Then it was follow up, get the appointment to list because his time was, and met with him. And fortunately, I had a buyer in my back pocket. He told us the number that he wanted to get. We were actually interviewing 3 of us. He was going to interview 3 agents because he's a high E, a high C, and he knows you're supposed to do that. We were the first ones. And Laura and I went in there. Laura presented, here's what we do, to help you out. I went over the CMA, here's what they're selling for. He told us the number that he wanted, and it was lower than what he could have gotten. So as long as I get this number, I'm happy. I said, okay, well, I've got a buyer that may be willing to pay that number. When are you meeting those other agents? Tomorrow, noon and 2. Okay, may I bring her by in the morning? And if she wants to buy it, you can let those agents know you got it sold. And he said, yeah, we'll do that. So I brought her by. She said, I'll buy it. I walked back in and told him she's going to buy it. Call those other agents. I'm happy to call them for you. Or you call them. So we called them. One was pissed. The other one congratulated. So, yeah. And that worked out beautiful, swimmingly. But it started with a pre-listing package. Now your pre-listing package, you don't have all this fancy stuff. It could be just the cloud CMA, because the cloud CMA, and you can put in there what's your marketing strategy. It has all the detailed information about time on market, pricing, how to capture the most buyers. It's got a lot of that. It's got a lot of detailed information about what goes on in selling a home, as well as the comparable properties. So for you, that pre-listing package could be just the cloud CMA. All right. And that helps you state the value, tell the seller what you bring. Somewhere in there, and there's pages in cloud CMA that you can customize to say, I'm going to help you make sure your home is in a tip-top shape, so it's going to get top dollar in this market. Make sense? Okay. What I would encourage you all to do, find a seller, find an address, find somebody that might be thinking about selling. Can you think of somebody that might be in your neighborhood? The ones you're door
There's
knocking?
one I spoke to who told me he wants to sell in the next 6 months or so, he said.
Okay,
Uh,
so what are you doing with him?
I put him already in my command.
Okay,
My plan is actually I want to go this Sunday. I want to go and knock on his door and give him a CMA.
perfect,
Something.
perfect. So I want you, when we're done here or tomorrow morning, after your lead generation time or door knocking, create that cloud CMA as best as you possibly can. The people here can help you bind it.
Okay.
All right, print it out, color, put together a CMA. You never want more than about 8 to 10 comparable properties.
Oh.
Yeah, because then it gets to be too much. All right, put together a CMA, get their permission. Hey, I'd like to bring you by, and never call it a CMA. We use acronyms in our industry and they don't know what we're talking about. What would we call it?
Um,
No, I wouldn't even call it that either.
uh,
Just an analysis of
shows you.
your home price as of right now.
May I share with you the term I use? Market value report. I've heard somebody use equity report.
Oh, that's hard though.
You won't always know, but
Yeah.
it just sounds fancier.
Oh,
But I use market value report. What your home could be worth in this market. May I bring that by on Sunday? Just like you to have a take a look. I like to have you take a look at it and give that to you, see if it'll help you. Okay. Do you know someone, JoJo, that could be selling?
I know two people.
Two.
One of them.
Then you're making 2 cloud CMAs, and you're going to get permission to drop off those reports to them.
Well, one of them I tried, but he said that they've been already selling for like the past 3 months, and they have somebody that they've been working with, and it's a friend that his uncle has been selling his property. So I told him to to give me his number, and he was like,
Do you have the address?
No.
Okay, then you don't have somebody.
And then
Do you have enough? Do you not have someone that you have the address?
my grandma.
Your grandma. Great. Hey, grandma, I'm learning how to put together this report. Can I bring it by? What's grandma gonna say?
Exactly.
Sure. You have someone. Possible someone. Okay, and it doesn't have to be genuine guaranteed. They told me they're selling in 6 months, a year, 2 years, whatever. Just somebody that owns a home that you could bring a report to. Do that.
question about the 8 to 10 properties. So I know
Yeah.
we were told like last 90 days,
Yes.
sold or active or whatever in progress, what if there's not that many?
Yeah. Great question.
Should I
Okay.
still like do whatever it is? Or-
So an appraiser needs 3 sold properties. And usually 3 active, although now they usually focus on sold properties. Okay. But yeah, they look for active, pending, sold. Okay. I go back 6 months.
Oh,
The default is 6 months. Okay. I had with one I'm currently doing, I had to go back a year.
oh, so you'll keep going back until you get your.
I'll go back until I get enough data. You really, and by the way, an appraiser will hang everything on one comparable. They'll just get other ones as column fodder, as it's
But he's
called.
really going now.
But they're really, okay, I've got this one that really is a model match and really will help me identify the value. So as long as you have one that is kind of model match-ish, then you focus on that one. And just bring the other ones in to kind of fill it
I have a
out.
question.
I have an answer.
So I was looking maybe right before I got my license, there was like 3 houses like around the block from me. Um, for some reason I did see them on Zillow and Redfin. Like a lot of times for a long time. I didn't have access to MLS at this point. I believe those houses didn't sell.
Okay, great.
Should I try to see if should I door knock those houses first and see maybe or get a comparable area, just kind of like we're neighbors at the end of the day, but
Do you have access to MLS?
Yes.
Okay, so the first thing I would recommend you do is plug those addresses into MLS, do a search, find out what the story is. Did it sell? Because it will say sold within whatever the date is.
Mm-hmm.
Expire. Was it canceled? Is it currently on the market? Find all that out. Now, if they're expired listings or canceled listings, those are ideal. Why is an expired or canceled listing ideal?
Because they were thinking about it.
Because they were thinking about it and it didn't happen. We were instructed at a recent Tom Ferry event that someone that had their house on the market and it didn't sell, they are embarrassed. Because they were telling everybody we're moving, our house is going to sell, we're going to do this or what have you, and it didn't happen, so they're embarrassed. So those ones, that's gold. And if they're around the corner from you, I'm taking out 3 CMAs and I'm knocking on the door. And I'm saying, hey, I thought you were trying to sell your house. I'm just curious if you'd still like to make that happen. My job is to help homeowners make their dream come true.
Oh, okay.
May I
Thank
help?
you so much.
May I help you make your dream come true? Absolutely. I'd be all over that like a cheap suit on a kangaroo on a cold Texas summer day. And if you made sense of that, you're smarter than me. All right. Is that even right?
It's an hour behind. And you're the first one to fix it. Everybody's just like, okay.
Kind of a clock theme. Yes, that's the C in me. There we go. Okay. For those of you that are on Zoom, I was just fixing the clock in here. All right, so a listing package, a pre-listing package helps the seller see what you can do for them. And for you, it's just going to be a cloud CMA. Will you review it in the listing presentation? Does it eliminate the need for a listing consultation? Is it a primer for education you will provide at the listing consultation? The answer is yes to all of those. This thing that we provided that seller that I mentioned, this right here, Laura has on her iPad, and she puts up her iPad and walks the seller through it. Here's our team, and here's what we do, and here's how we make sure you get the most amount of money possible. This is how we negotiate on your behalf, so forth and so on. So that's doing that piece. The CMA that I left in there for them. Yeah, we're going to review that because we're going to take a look at what the competitors are selling for and have sold for.
So I guess I have just a quick question. So the pre-listing packet is the same packet you'll use on the listing presentation?
Yep.
Oh.
Yep.
You're just getting them earlier so they can review it.
Right. So by dropping out something in advance, it gives them something to let them know what you're excited about, or give them information about what you're about. What you can.
Like you're giving them a teaser.
What's that?
It's like you're giving them a teaser of what's, yeah.
Thank you. Yes.
That's sad, and I want to ask your opinion on it. Said, like UPS, sorry, it can feel fancy, but I wanted to know your.
Joshua Hammond, used to be with our office. I think he's with Compass now. He works a certain farm in the Torrance area heavily. And he told me his first listing he ever got was an expired listing. He got a FedEx package and put his materials in there and dropped it off at the house.
Oh, so it can look like it was. That's funny.
Another strategy is, so David, you want to leave a marketing package or a CMA for someone. You tell them, I'm going to have my assistant bring that by. And you have JoJo go deliver it.
That's actually nice. Help each other out.
And swap that off. My assistant's going to bring that by. Hey, JoJo asked me to deliver this to you. It's information about the value of your home. His contact information is in there. If you want to do that. And however, you can get FedEx envelopes. You can get UPS envelopes. I don't know if they cost you something. They might give them out for free. So, yeah, you could do that. I frankly would prefer to have the CMA in my hand and knock on the door.
Okay, you wanna give it to.
I want face to face, I wanna see them. I wanna give that to them. Pre-listing packet, okay, here's basically the CMA. And Cloud CMA, Command might have something. However, the Cloud CMA is great. Cover page, contact information, promise to the seller, selling process overview. And all these things are covered. Broker, personal, client testimonials.
It looks like it's on.
That looks like it is Command,
I
yeah.
think there's like a couple of things like that on Command.
Yeah, I bet there are.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Take a look at that. But again, the Cloud CMA one is just so flippin' easy. You can choose different styles, color schemes that it has. You can customize the pages that you need to, and everything else is already in there. Seller consultation checklist. This is before you go on the listing appointment. It says to confirm pre-listing packet, deliver on time as promised, confirm the appointment, ensure all decision makers will attend, complete and practice your listing presentation, review the lead sheet, what you know about them, arrive to the listing presentation in a professional manner. Mike Ferry has a pre-listing questionnaire that's not bad. I was going to use it not too long ago, and I realized we already know the answers to these questions. The most important question on that thing, by the way, if you Google Mike Ferry pre-listing questionnaire, you'll get it. It's 10 questions on one page. And here's the most important question on there. So tomorrow when we meet about selling your home, if you like what you hear and you are comfortable and confident that I can get your home sold, will you be ready to list your home with me tomorrow? I've had sellers say, yes. Guess what? My listing presentation is done. Now it's just a matter of going in and getting it signed. Because he's already said, if you're going to be comfortable and confident with what you hear, will you be ready to sign with me? Yeah, great. All I got to do is show up and get the listing. That's the beauty of that question in advance of the listing presentation. Now, David, the way you're dressed today, would you show up like that?
My student tie.
You're gonna tie up?
I always.
I used to tie up. When I was in Northern California, I tied up.
I'm from Chicago, born and raised. It's just how you're raised with it. It's just today I was on a construction site. It's raining and muddy, and I'm like, I'm not wearing a suit today.
Have we had the conversation about deep dish pizza in Chicago?
No.
What's the best one?
Sure, we're gonna fight now, but I'm a Giordano's guy. I tend to be more. Yeah, sorry. But
Lou Malnati's.
that sounds like I know we're gonna fight. Actually, I'm a thin guy. I love like father and son's thin pizza.
My son is in Chicago right now, going to University of Chicago. He's in a
Nice.
doctorate program. He says Pequods.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So anyway,
I need to go to Chicago.
you need to go to Chicago.
And try all
You
three.
totally need to go to Chicago. Yep. Oh, the problem with deep dish pizza though, you can have like one piece.
I know.
Yeah. All right. Any ahas from that?
I mean, the CMA info that you provided with
Yeah.
8 to 10 properties,
Yeah.
up to 6 months, go further if you need more.
Yeah, I mean, you can get away with 6 properties easily. And 8 to 10 might even be too much. Because then it just gets overwhelming.
And would you order it? I haven't messed with it like that in the cloud, but would you order with the one you think is the most identical?
Yeah, no, I don't order it.
Okay.
I let Cloud CMA put it together. However, I'm going to have looked at those and know which one is the closest to theirs. Because I want to be able to reference that one. And add a great technique at the listing presentation that I learned was to go through the active properties, and you've got to know what's your average days on market.
Because that might tell you if it's too overpriced, right? Yeah.
Exactly. So if the average days on market is 21, and you go, okay, Mr. Seller, here's a comparable, here's a competition to you right here. And it's priced at 1.2 million. And it's been on the market 65 days. And it's got the same number of bedroom, bath, square footage that you have. So it's been on the market 65 days and houses are selling in 21 days. What would you say about that price?
I don't even say you're forcing them to say it.
Because if they say it, who owns it? What would you say about that price on that property? What are they going to say?
It's overpriced.
I agree with you. So here's one that is 1.3, same bedroom, bathroom count. It's been on the market 175 days. What would you say about that price?
It's even more.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with you. Now let's look at the sold ones. Here's one at 1.1 that was on the market 21 days, exactly like yours. How was that priced? Good. Yeah. Okay. And you go through those, and then you say, all right, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, based on what you've seen here, where should we price your house to get you sold and get you to Austin in the next 2 months?
So you even asked them that?
I asked them that. Yeah. Where would you price it to get it sold? Based on what you've seen here. And when I've used this technique, the sellers almost always come across the number that I want them to.
Would you have a seller who's like, I don't care if it takes 3 months, like I want that higher price? Or
What's important about that higher price?
net more?
Absolutely. Now, and in the cloud CMA, you'll be able to show them. Here's the thing with the timing. When a house comes on the market, it gets the most activity within the first 2 weeks. And then it begins to slow down. The activity drops off. And the National Association of Realtors tells us that if you get 10 showings and no offers, or you go 1 week with no showings, it's overpriced. So if we get a lot of activity but no offers, what's the market telling us? That they're not willing to pay that price for your property. Now, if you want to sit on it, we can. And unfortunately, here's what happens. Buyers know that the average days on market right now is 21 days. So if it gets past 21 days and they see it sitting there, what do they think?
Price reduction is, or
There's something wrong with it. When the only thing wrong with it is the price. Well, there may be other things wrong with it. And price fixes everything, by the way. You want the seller to self-discover what the price should be. And be willing to price it where it needs to be.
Well,
Yes.
what happens if they keep asking you as the expert to price it at? And do you try to just still give them the range and still have them come up with it, or?
Valid question. Sometimes people are like, well, you're the expert, where should I price it? And I like to say, it's not my home. Okay, the market is telling us that around here is where we would get it sold. I can tell you in my experience, here's the great news. If we price it too low, the market will bid it up to where it should be. If we start too high, we could end up below where we could have been if we had started correctly.
So if we price it lower, but you know the client wants to be higher, and the lower price you're listing it at, it's not something they're totally comfortable with. Aren't they also running the risk that, you know, someone comes at full price, that there's a chance that they'll have to accept that?
Do they have to accept it? If someone walks in with an offer at the list price, even though it's lower than they want, are they required by law to sign that?
They don't have to.
No, they don't.
It's just going to possibly.
And they're not gonna list it too low if they're not comfortable doing that. They won't. And again, they are the ones choosing the price. You can make your suggestions, you can show them the data, and they are the ones choosing it. Because at the end of the day, you want them to own it.
It's important not to promise them that it's going to get overbid. And
Oh, never, never. If we put it below market value, we've seen in the past that we could get multiple offers. I can't promise that. I can't guarantee that. However, our odds are good that that could happen.
There's a chance that's the best offer you could get. Are you comfortable with this price?
Oh, there you go. Now, if that's the only offer we get, are you comfortable with it there? That's a great question. Yes. Perfect.
Can you repeat your line of, the market is telling us it's at this price, but you said the good news is if we go
Too low. The market's saying it should sell around here. And here's the great news. If we go too low, odds are good that the market will bid it up past that. We learned that back in the recession and when we had all those short sales and bank-owned properties. The bank-owned properties came out way below market value. And the market would bid them up. Cash buyers would swoop them up and bid it up to where it would go. And the same thing is still happening in this market. If something comes out too low, it gets bid up. And who decides what the price of a house is? The market. What is any house? And I love to tell, yes, you were right. I love to tell sellers that ask me, how much is my house worth? Your house is worth whatever the highest bidder is willing to pay at any given time in the market. That's how much it's worth. And the bank will give a loan.
Sorry, this is a bit.
Sorry, he doesn't live here.
Not totally off topic, but I just thought of a question. I don't want to forget it. Is there, with all these great apps we have, is there a way to tell where the buyers are, which price range the buyers are looking?
Yeah, there actually is. Yeah, there's a way to pull that data. InfoSparks, how many of you know about InfoSparks in our MLS system?
Barely. I tried it a couple of times.
Get to know. InfoSparks. It's pulling all the data from our MLS systems in any city, any zip code, any market area that you want, any condo, single family dwelling, what have you, time period, price per square foot, sales price, days on market, list to sell percentage, how many active, there's a wealth of data in there. Now we have someone run a report for us on Mondays in the Beach Cities area, the Hill and Long Beach, and he shows us that 52% last week, 52% of the homes that sold in the Beach Cities area sold between 1 and 2 million.
Thank you. I was wondering about that. I appreciate it.
That's a valid question. And it's valuable data to have because now you're the area expert. Hey, homes are selling at 100% of their list price on average, and they're selling in 21 days. So if we price it here, odds are good you're going to get that, and you get it in 21 days. All right. Listing appointment. We did that, didn't we?
we just did the pre-listing.
Yeah, okay, right. Get a signed listing agreement. Oh, create a great impression to build the seller's confidence in you as a real estate agent of choice. That's having knowledge of the market. I hate brokers opens. And if I go out and I see some properties that brokers open and I'm meeting with a seller, I go, oh yeah, I saw that house that's going to be competing with yours on Thursday. And it looked like this and it looked like that. Or having knowledge of the houses, having some kind of knowledge of the houses that you're using in your CMA is valuable. They are selling in this amount of time, they're selling at this percentage of their list price. So here's what the market's doing. Share your price recommendation, and your reasoning behind it. Again, I will say having them self-discover the price is a better rate than giving them a recommendation. Because now you own it, you, the agent, own it. Well, my agent told me to price it here. He told me it would sell for that. Sure. Versus, yeah, we thought we could get that and we didn't. Set expectations for how you will market the home and work with sellers. Sellers, buyers, work with buyers, agents, buyers. I think that should say. Okay. How the listing presentation meets seller needs and wants. 10 minutes. What?
It's like a role play.
Yeah. Well, we're not going to do that. Your needs come first. And this is probably in the command listing presentation on the slide, and ask for a volunteer to do so. Oh, okay. What's the one thing that has to happen to make that dream? Oh, visualize your dream scenario for selling your home. This is a strategy for doing a listing presentation. It's not one that I use.
But are they saying these are like questions to ask?
Yes,
Like,
your needs come first. So it's saying to the seller, visualize your dream scenario for selling your home. Well, it's going to sell in 2 weeks and we're going to get this number and it's going to be super easy. Great. What's the one thing that has to happen to make sure that dream scenario is a reality?
Making sure we price it right.
Right. Price it right and make sure it's priced for the condition. And if you want a higher price than the current condition, are you willing to spend the money to get it to the condition you need to get that price? Or you're willing to make the improvements you need to get to that price? And what's important about that price? If we could add just one more thing, how can I make that happen for you? Why is that important to you? If we could add just one more thing to make this process even better, what would that be? Why is that important to you? These sound like Diana Kokoska bold questions, quite frankly. And they are good. Why, how, what? I'm not crazy about those. I like the, okay, let's go to Disneyland. What would be the ideal scenario for me? If we could wave a magic wand, which I love that phrase, by the way. What would this process look like? How do you believe we can make that? How do you believe that will come true? There's a dog running around. I am knowledgeable and caring and the best agent for these clients. They will appreciate my expertise and preparation and choose me to represent them as they sell their home. What is this called?
Mantra.
A affirmation.
Or no.
A mantra or an affirmation. Yeah. It's something that you could say before walking into a listing presentation. And I'm not going to make you repeat it. Now, what this is talking about is entering the opportunity in command. So those CMAs that y'all are any of you in command?
Yeah.
A little bit. Okay, so command is your database. Okay, good. So those CMAs that you're going to do, you could enter those as opportunities in command. I don't know that I would. The listing walkthrough, when you arrive at a potential seller's home, it's important to establish yourself as knowledgeable professional right away. Greet your clients, thank them for the opportunity, and ask them if you can leave your things in the kitchen. This is the classic Diana Kokoska. A lot of times they'll want to show you around, and the danger of them showing you around is they point out all the great things that cost them money about their home. And so the value of their home goes up in their mind. Versus saying, you know, I'd rather look at it from the eyes of how a buyer's gonna see it. And just see what I see. So you hang out here, take a look at this, the disclosures that I left for you, that we're gonna need to provide any buyer. Take a look at those, and I'll walk through the house real quickly and get an eye on what needs to happen. And it's always best to sit at the kitchen table, because all major important decisions are made at the kitchen table. Yeah, that listing we took and sold a month ago was at the counter in the kitchen. Oh, send him a handwritten note afterwards.
After the listing appointment.
Yeah. Yep.
So if you get the listing, it's just like, looking forward to the opportunity, but,
Sure. Yeah. And here's something you can do. These people that you're going to create that file CMA for and drop off. A few days after that, write a thank you for allowing me to provide you a market value report with your business card in there and mail that to them. Will that make a good impression? Yes, the answer is yes. And it doesn't cost you a lot. Okay. Yeah, and really this listing walkthrough, this is if you're doing a one-step listing presentation. We are typically doing, we were at the Tom Ferry event, a really strong agent is doing a 3-step listing. Ours is 2-step. We're going to go in there in advance and determine, okay, these things need to happen to get you top dollar. Do you want to do that? Do you want us to help us with that? Okay.
So you do a walkthrough before the listing.
Before the listing presentation. We do a walkthrough before the listing presentation. This strategy is if you're getting into the house for the first time and you're presenting your value proposition the first time. That's a 1-step.
So that's in your case, complete stranger, it's not a referral, it's not.
Well, it could be a referral, it could be somebody you met. You're not a complete stranger, but you've not been in the house.
Would you first set up an appointment to walk?
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes, I would want to get into the house ahead of time. Yes.
So just have this pre-listing and the listing.
Yes.
What's the pre-step?
I don't know. I wasn't there for that. It could be a pre-listing, a listing, and then a closing. I'm not sure. I don't know what the third step is. The people on my team know, and I haven't asked them because we're really a 2-step. Yeah, and it's been effective for us.
And would you do that walkthrough like a day or two before the listing appointment, or?
It could be a day or two. It could be a month. It could be 6 months. It could be like the people that called today. I'm going in with Laura next Friday, and they may be 6 months, 2 years down the road. And that's step 1. That's the pre-listing.
So your appointment next week is a walkthrough?
Yeah, it's a walkthrough.
Gotcha.
I will tell you that appointment next week is not a listing appointment. Now, my team members will argue with me, no, Bob, it's a listing because you're presenting your value, you're presenting what you can do, you're presenting a market value report. For me, it's not, because I'm not going to be asking for a listing agreement at that appointment. Okay, so it's a walkthrough, it's a consultation. Make sense? Okay. Handwritten note. Thanks for getting training. Do this, do that. All right. So good. Finishing up. Is there anything I didn't say that you need more or want more information on?
Yeah, I would like to know if you usually, just to make sure I understood this correctly, like you usually go ideally to 2 appointments, kind of like the first one is where you do like a walkthrough, you meet the homeowner, and the second one is where you present your numbers.
So the pre-listing one, the walkthrough, depending on how far in advance they're planning on selling their house, I'll bring a market value report. I'm not gonna go through it in detail with them then. I will bring that report, but the purpose of that report or that walkthrough is to get an idea of what is the condition of the home now? Where's it at now? And where does it need to get the seller what they need? And it's also an opportunity to talk with the seller about what is it you need? What are your goals? What do you want to have happen and when? What's important to you about selling this home? I want to get more clarity on that. That's happening at the first walkthrough. And then the next one is when, okay, here's what we need to do to get your home sold, to allow you to reach the goals that you want to reach at the price that you want to reach. Are you willing to hire us to do that?
So during your walkthrough, you're doing your walkthrough on your own, like a buyer would.
Yeah.
And then after your walkthrough, you sit or talk to the seller
Yeah.
and
That's in the
start
one
asking those
step.
questions.
That's in the one step. That's the Diana Kokoska listing presentation appointment. Yeah, if you're going to the house for the first time, you do your walkthrough alone. If we're doing the two-step, the seller comes with us to point things out.
Gotcha.
This and that, and it's got this and that, and I fixed this and I fixed that, and we had a leak over here, but we took care of that. You know, they're doing all those things.
For brand new.
I did have one question. If when you do a walkthrough, obviously you're looking at as a buyer. What are the things that you're looking at exactly, more like just bullet points, like this needs to be remodeled, or this needs to be cleaned up or worked on?
Yeah, it's
What are
got
the
old tile with brown grout and gold faucets and gold light fixtures in the bathroom. Old, dated.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
And then you can have a conversation, this was really in style in the 1960s. Now it's 2025 and quartz and brushed nickel faucets and light fixtures are more common. Are you willing to get this updated so that it's modernized?
That's gonna be my kind of
Okay,
question.
thank you.
There's like YouTubers that take you around inspections and then you just watch the video and the whole video they're like, oh yeah, look at this, look at that on the roof, and then there's like leaks, and then there's like, oh look, there's some ash on the floor.
But it's not just about like,
It's not about
hair, it
faults.
could be about.
It could be about faults, it could be about problems, it could be, leaks, cracks, whatever things that need to be fixed. And a lot of times the house is outdated.
Most of the time it will be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you need to do to get it up to date? And then it becomes a function of going out and seeing houses and seeing what looks good and what are people doing?
You
The
mentioned,
reason,
Yeah.
the reason why I say that is because the two houses that I told you guys, I think that maybe the listing expired. One of them is like completely renovated, and the other one is like outdated. So it's just
Okay.
more so the things that I was trying to figure out.
So yeah, and I bet the one that was outdated was priced less than the one that was current.
Correct.
you would,
Yeah. Yep.
Who's the Diana?
Diana Kokoska. I don't know. Kokoska. Diana Kokoska. Yeah.
What is that?
She is the original creator of bold. See those bold things? She is the one that originally wrote that. It's been updated, rewritten, modified since then. Because some of her stuff is outdated. Yeah.
so for outdated or upgraded, you tend to look at bathrooms, kitchen.
Yeah. Now, the paint on the walls, that's easy. The flooring, fairly easy and fairly low cost. But yeah, cabinets and countertops light fixtures and faucets are the big things that date a home or show the age of a home.
Okay.
And are they willing to improve all of that? We had a seller in Hermosa Beach, 24th Street, that standing in the kitchen, you could see 4 different types of flooring. The kitchen, the living room, or the dining room, living room here, hallway over here. Okay, and so Laura, who's just got a great eye on it, you know, we put in all new flooring, paint, updated some of the fixtures. I don't know if we did countertops or anything like that. Probably did. But in its current condition, it would sell for 3.2 million. And they spent $80,000, listed it for 3.6, got 3.9. So that $80,000 investment got them $700,000 more. It's a great story we get to tell, by the way. And normally, I'm working on one right now in Redondo Beach on grants. I brought our guy in to take a look at, here's the improvements that need to be made. Some stairs need to be fixed. Some paint needs to be done. Some bathrooms need a little updating. By the way, the easiest thing to do for kitchen cabinets and bathroom cabinets, white with handles. Paint them white, put on handles. Easiest thing to do, lowest cost thing to do. But so our guy Emmanuel, give a quote $25,000, and that'll get him $50,000 to $100,000 more. Yeah.
Should have gone with him when I did the remodel at our house.
Did you ask me for a second?
I did. He did help with our plumbing issue from the previous, so.
Manual?
Yeah.
Manual, okay, that was,
I
okay.
know
Yeah.
you or him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, you did a great job.
One bathroom and one kitchen. Just repaint?
I don't have the quote in front of me. Oh, he hasn't done it yet.
That's really good.
Yeah, it is. It's really good. Yeah. Yes, and there was a leak that went into the closet and there was mold. All that was torn out. So he also gave a quote to repair that, put in the drywall, finish it, paint it, take care of it. Yeah. He's good.
So let's say you do a walkthrough, you
Mhm.
see things, okay, we gotta upgrade bathroom, kitchen, etc.
Yep.
And so on your listing appointment,
Mhm.
after, you would say, if we do these upgrades, or no, you don't bring up the upgrade.
Yeah,
New price.
let's say you go in and it's the outdated kitchen, bathroom, blah, blah, blah that I mentioned. Okay, great. And I would actually say, hey, can I bring my contractor in here to provide us a quote to update it to current standards? Sure. So I bring Manuel in and he gives us an estimate. And then at the listing appointment, we can go, okay, in its current condition, you're going to get 950,000. Probably, maybe more than likely. Manuel here has quoted 25,000. And you invest this 25,000, you're going to get 1.1 million. Which do you prefer? The 900,000 or the 1.1 million with a $50,000 investment, getting you 150,000 more? What do you prefer, seller?
Invest money.
Some may say, you know what, I just want to unload it. I don't want to go through the headache.
Really?
Yeah, you never know. They've been in there 40, 50 years. I'm done with it. Just want to get out of it. Give me what you can. Yeah, that's fine. Let somebody else deal with it.
So let's say they say, I wanna do the upgrades.
Yep.
And they say, hey, I wanna sign with you.
Yeah, great.
You sign in that moment?
Yeah.
Okay, but along with that.
Who cares?
Okay, so you're gonna, because isn't there like a timing on a listing agreement or no?
TBD.
To be determined.
The start date is the day. The on market, well, you could put TBD. And it's going to be a 90-day listing period or whatever. You put TBD. Price, you could put TBD. Or you could, let's move it out a month from now. as a start date. Okay, and 90 days from that it expires. All right, and if he's not done by then, or if he gets done sooner, we'll just modify the listing agreement.
So you can do like a second version.
Addendum to it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, heck yeah, modify it. Absolutely. The key thing is you get it signed.
And before the repair or the upgrade.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. One thing that our company does, if it's low enough, we'll front the money. We'll pay our contractor. Then we have an addendum that then says, okay, we're gonna pay for this, it's gonna happen, and if you don't sell, it's gonna come out of the sell. But if you don't sell, you're paying us this money.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Is that
Yes.
concierge service?
We call it concierge service, yes. Now, if you don't have the cash to do that, I'm guessing you probably don't, that's okay. The company called Zoom Casa, you can bring them in. And they'll get you the quote, and they'll be the ones to front the money, and they make it when they close.
So is that the company, this Keller Williams South Bay has concierge, that's in Casa?
It's Zoom Casa. Correct.
They also have free form.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying, like, there's.
Okay. And there might be other options, sure, absolutely. Yeah, there's companies that do that. I've used Zoom Casa for pre-sale, meaning they went in, they fixed up the condo before we listed it for sale, and they got paid at the end. And I've also used it for someone that was in foreclosure. They bought the house at 60–70% of its current value, gave cash to the seller so they could move, went in and fixed it up, listed it for the higher price. Then after they got paid, they gave the balance to this previous seller.
Huh?
Yeah. That's for someone that was in foreclosure. Yep. All right.
Awesome.
Casa did that? Casa did that?
Jim Costa did it, yes. I've used them I've used them 3 times. 2 pre-sales and 1, it's called Zoom Forward. Zoom Forward, they call it, yeah. Yep. And every time the seller's gotten more money. By the way, staging works. Always stage your property.
Even if there's the owner lives there? Like,
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, we've got a good stager that if they've already got existing furniture or stuff, then we can work with what they've got. She might recommend getting rid of some things, adding some things, moving some things, changing some things around, yeah. Yep, all right, anything else?
this was.
Did you get value?
Yes,
Yeah.
sure.
Awesome, all right, good. Now, when are you delivering that CMA?
Me too.
I need to, I want, the next words I want out of your mouth are a date and a time. When are you delivering that CMA?
Can't think of an expired listing, I could think that would work better than the scenario I mentioned already. So,
When are you delivering that CMA?
next week.
What day? Friday. What time? 3 p.m. on next Friday. You have my phone number, right? Text me when you delivered it. When are you delivering your CMA?
Sunday morning, 10 a.m.
Sunday morning, 10 a.m. Do you have my number?
No.
Oh, my card's on me. Write this down. 916-213-4522. Text me when you deliver it. Jojo?
Tuesday, 5 p.m.
Tuesday at 5 p.m. Text me when you deliver it. All right, gang?
Yes, sir.
Go sell a house.
Thank you.
Peace.
I love it.
Yeah, it's kind of big so and my bosses, all the bosses that I know, that's why they love me. Hard on me, and they expect me to just be like everybody else. But I'm like, and they get me say, take it, and so they're like, nobody ever said that to me. Like, well, I need it. So.